And begin to bring in the Ujjayi breath. Let the sound deepen your focus, your presence here. As you listen to the Ujjayi breath, let it be again your reflecting screen, this bit of biofeedback about how you are, the quality of your attention, the felt sense of your physical body, the sound of the breath as a reflection of that. And in watching that, without judgment. And join your hands together at your heart. We're going to chant at the second chakra today, Asatoma Satgamaya. Let's begin. Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om. With your exhale, you may bow your head to your heart. Release your hands. You may open your eyes if you like. So the question I had was about if you have, I'm going to paraphrase, if you have a sort of shadow expression at one of the upper chakras, this person was asking, where does that come from? How does the shadow get in there? So for example, if we had a shadow expression at the heart chakra, which would be something like envy, jealousy, ill will, the near enemies and the far enemies of the Brahma Viharas. The Brahma Viharas are the four divine abodes of the heart, the four homes of the heart: compassion, karuna, loving kindness, mayatri, appreciative joy, mudita, and then equanimity, upekshanam. And they all have near enemies and far enemies. So this person was asking, if we have this shadow expression at the fourth chakra, well, how did it get there? What do we do about it? So if we think of this threshold that we cross from the lower three chakras to the upper, if there's a shadow expression up above, it's likely that the root cause is something deeper down. In a similar way as we would look at the koshas, and in Ayurveda, we would say, if you have a symptom in the physical body, the Annamaya kosha, related to the Pranamaya kosha and the Manomaya kosha, so outer layer, next layer in. Let's say, for example, we have a symptom in the organ system, like a thyroid symptom, or something going on with the endocrine system, so many organs involved in that. That's at the Annamaya and the Pranamaya kosha, because it's kind of combined, the subtle body plus the physical body. But in Ayurveda, we would say the deeper cause is at the Manomaya kosha in the lifestyle. And the lifestyle is generated by the mind, generated by the sense impressions, generated by this like internalized rhythm and conditioning about how we're supposed to live. So if we just address the outermost obvious symptom and not the root cause, we might be chasing symptoms around until we get to the root cause. So at the heart chakra, for this person's question, if there is a shadow expression, yes, last week or a couple weeks ago, I was talking about how the chakras, we have both a forward expression sometimes, and we have the hidden expression, the backside, or the front out of balance expression, and sometimes the back out of balance expression. So the shadow of things like envy, jealousy, ill will, we probably don't have that like forward speaking, from the heart. We may want to express compassion, but we might be having this sort of hidden experience behind. But nonetheless, the symptom would be down lower in some of the first three chakras. The root cause is deeper in, and the symptom is emerging here to get our attention. So let's say from the heart, this compassion that is really about enmeshment, going forward, the compassion, the loving kindness, like we're working so hard at it. We really want this person to feel our loving kindness. It's going to transform them. So that would be called attachment, right? Or I want to give this compassion so badly because I feel your pain and I want to help heal that because it's my pain too. But now I'm in enmeshment rather than the clarity of compassion or loving kindness. And again, envy, ill will, those things like moving in the back part. So if the issue is deeper down and we clear it up here, it gets cleared up above too. And we start seeing ourselves with the compassionate heart that's like, oh yeah, I was doing the enmeshment and attachment thing. Or, oh, I was really caught up in my envy and jealousy, and that led me to other kinds of contracted feelings. So the work is deeper down still. And I hope that clarifies your question. And we are going to do that sort of deeper down work this morning in response to this person's question. And it does, as I said before, there's a relationship from lower chakra to upper, and like this. So often first to fourth, second to fifth, and third to sixth. Okay. So thank you for your question. I hope that's helpful. And again, thanks for your patience with me with my email situation. Please take your hands out over your knees and make them firm. And then pull up through the spine so it's kind of taut. And then bring the chin down and begin your inhale at the lower chakra. So when we come up, we're going to be coming up towards a cow pose spine. And then exhale and curl your tailbone down and draw in like a cat pose spine. Then inhale, come upright with the first, second, third. Lift your chest and heart like a back bend. Open your throat. Follow your breath cycle. So my rhythm will not be precisely yours, and your rhythm is worth honoring. Yesterday in class, I was pointing out that when we really hone our concentration and synchronizing, we're repairing the sort of attention networks the attention needs that we have had in the inner body. So when you synchronize right here and you give this kind of attention and intention, it's healing, particularly down at the first and second chakra. Let's do this one more time, rising up. And then exhale, drawing down and in. Okay, rise up to your seat, cross your left hand over to your right hand. And then inhale, draw up, keep your right fingertips firm on your knee, your left hand firm on your right hand. And exhale to curl down. Inhale, draw forward and up. So you've added a twist into the spine, and you may find that your capacity for extension and flexion has changed. So how do you give your attention now? How do you pace your synchronizing so it's really tuned in between you and your body and your breath? Let's do it one more time, going up. Return to center and then cross your left hand over your left knee and the right hand over the left. And inhale to go up. And exhale to curl down. So again, when you're synchronizing, what you're doing is repairing the rhythm, attention, reciprocity needs that are really intrinsic to us, especially so important in the first phase of our lives, the kapha phase of life. The dosha, the word kapha. So inhale, rise up slowly, accepting both your limitations and the desire to move the threshold of limitation, like not to be bound by it. But don't be disrespectful either. If your body doesn't go to a certain place, have reverence for what you can do. Let's go up one more time. And come back to center. And you place your attention down low in the abdomen. We do use the diaphragm for this, and it does include the solar plexus, but also try to engage in the mid to lower belly. This is Bastrika. It's about 30 exhales. Exhale completely. Now inhale to suspension and try to sense the first and second chakra, the Mula and Uddiyana bandhas. And exhale slowly and smoothly, of course at your own timing. Sooner than mine, after mine, at your own timing. And deeply relax. Okay, repeating that. Inhale through the nose, up to suspension. Release slowly and thoughtfully. Now bringing in the Ujjayi breath in a very subtle form, and I'd like you to be really thoughtful about the rhythm and the feeling tone of being really attuned to yourself, that you're not going to make yourself feel breathless. This is called box breathing. So you have the inhale suspension, the exhale, and the exhale suspension are all the same. In military practice, they're using a count of 4. You might have a little bit longer, but don't make yourself breathless. Let's try it for about 5 cycles. So you can always update the pace that you're using if you discover there's a breathlessness somewhere in the system. Think of the evenness of the box as more important than some Olympic level inhale. When you complete the next one, then rest in the reflection of the practice, which was really about tuning into yourself. It's called box breathing, but it's also about becoming attuned and sensitive, the kind of sensitivity that parts of you likely have needed. And perhaps another part is just learning how to provide that sensitivity. Okay, now place your hands on your shoulders. So a place that we're going after this practice, I'm just being thoughtful about how to bring you there. So this is now Kapalabhati, much faster than what we were just doing. Rapid exhale left to right. Five, four, three, two, one. Come to center. Inhale up to suspension using the bandhas. Exhale completely through both nostrils. Bring the right hand up. Inhale, left side only. And suspend. Exhale, right side. Inhale, right side. Suspend. And exhale, left side. And then deeply relax. Now we'll come to Korma Mudra, or sometimes called Kormasana. So this is where we're going to make a little update to this practice this morning. So what we'll be doing is basically combining box breathing with this Korma Mudra practice. So I'm going to recommend that you don't have yourself elevated because you're going to be coming down with the fists in the low belly. And some of you are going to need a support for your head. Could be medium block like this, could be a flat block. So the fists are going to go in the low abdomen here. And then we exhale to come forward. And in that place, we're going to be doing exhale suspension. Now I can use my hair tie. Just a moment. So when we inhale and exhale, if you think about the box breathing that you just had a bit ago, that box breathing, you had an inhale suspension and you had an exhale suspension. And you were specifically making an effort not to cause breathlessness. So same idea here. This is not a competition and nobody can see you doing it because they're going to be down there anyhow. And they won't know what your timing is. So you're not being supervised by some like person with a stopwatch on the track field. That's my history, part of my history. So you're placing the fists, the inhale's upright, the inhale suspension, the exhale facilitated by bowing forward. The fists do go into the low belly. We have the exhale suspension there, and then we inhale to come up. Let's explore it together. Begin with your inhale. And you have your inhale suspension. At your pace, your exhale. And keep following your own pace for the process. Some of you will find that one breath cycle feels really complete and then you need a little pause, a little recalibration. Take note of that if that's your experience. If you're able to make the breath consistently, we do 3 times more, but to keep it consistent if possible, which might mean shortening the duration so the box is a little bit smaller, so that when you come up, you don't feel like you have to have a catch-up breath cycle. And complete your last one at the end of the next exhale suspension. And then rest your hands in your lap and let yourself just notice the reflection coming back to you from your efforts. And then please rise up to standing and come into your jazz dance warm-up pose. You can have a couple blocks nearby as we're going to be using them shortly. So come up and take your stance like this. Press out from the inner thighs to your knees. Let the torso kind of dangle down from your shoulders, which can shrug up towards your ears. And now, without using box breathing, just see what length of inhale is comfortable for you, considering that you can make the breath more subtle, slower, so perhaps same quantity of air but moving more slowly, and same for the exhale. Turn your left hand in, twist to your right, maintaining the pace of the breath. Change sides. And then inhale, rise up, make your feet parallel and come down to Prasarita Padottanasana. Walk the hands forward, and then again see if you can have that longer, slower breath cycle now. Reach your left hand under your right arm. Reach across towards your right leg, holding it if you can reach it. Twist to your right. Notice the exhale happening from deep inside the low belly, and your effort to make the breath move slower, same quantity but with more elegance. Return your left hand to its block and take your right hand under. Return your right hand to its block. And then hands to your hips and rise up to standing. Turn your left heel out, right foot out. Inhale the arms wide. And using the pace of the breath, so it's going to be your own rhythm. Exhale, bring yourself down to warrior two, facing to the right. Gaze out over your right fingertips. Now keeping the legs established and stable, when you inhale, bring your left arm forward. If the left hand can reach the right hand, reach it that far forward. You are twisting the pelvis to the left, so this is now a rotation of your thoracic spine to the right. And then exhale, pull the left elbow back and reach through your left arm, warrior two. So inhale, big circle, left arm forward towards the right. Exhale at your breath pace, draw the elbow back, reach your hand back. Once more. Exhale, draw back. Inhale, Parsvakonasana. You may place your right fingertips on the floor behind you, on the floor in front of you, around your ankle, on a block. When you come into Parsvakonasana, make the choice about your right arm based on keeping the breath the same length. With an exhale, rise up to center. And then inhale, come to center. Rotate your feet to the other side. Great. Inhale, take the arms wide, so at your pace, slowing down the ceiling fan of the mind. Exhale, bend your left knee, warrior two. And now keeping the legs really steady, so the pelvis is making its effort not to be 180, not to be like something like this, but an effort to stay in warrior two as you now inhale your right arm forward. And exhale, draw back. Inhale. Exhale, pull back. So when the arm goes forward, you're really broadening the upper back and the heart. And if you keep this stability in the pelvis, you're going to find out what kind of discrepancy or difference you have left to right in the torso and the chest. It's okay to have asymmetries. Everybody does. So exhale, draw your right elbow back. Reach through your fingertips. And then inhale to your Parsvakonasana, the side angle pose. And decide again where you'd most like to have your left hand so that your pose is inherently stable. Use 2 or 3 blocks if you want to. Use your elbow on your knee. Use the chair. Use the sofa. Touch the floor. But the breath shall remain stable. So no sense of straining. Exhale, press into your left heel, rise up, and then inhale to come to center. And heel toe to center. Come to mountain pose. I'll change the angle on my camera. And then just notice how it is, right, in mountain pose to have had this time of tuning in and slowing down. Let's place the 2 blocks for Surya Namaskar. Face to the east if you're able to. If that doesn't mean facing like a brick wall or something, right? Join your hands together at your heart. Okay, root down through your tailbone and stabilize at the first and second chakra. Support the third chakra to be spacious, the back waist more broad, not more of the floating ribs going forward. And then join your hands at your heart. And with the Ujjayi sound, let's take the hands down, turn your palms forward. Exhale, roll the shoulders back, lift up through the crown of your skull. Inhale, rise up from the bottom, moving upwards, and then gaze up. And exhale, Uttanasana. Keep the inner arches and inner thighs toned. Inhale, glide forward. Exhale, left toes back. Inhale to rise. Exhale to descend. So keeping your pace, which may be longer than mine or slower than mine, or could be shorter. Inhale to plank pose. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. Inhale, plank. Cow pose. Seal pose. Plank pose. Downward dog, here's your inhale. Exhale, left foot forward. Rising up. Descending. Step forward. Uttanasana. Rising up, upward hands. And Anjali Vidra. Continuing, inhale, raise the arms up. So at your pace, listen for how you can support yourself not to become breathless, but to feel a kind of cohesive intimacy, a synchronization between your body, your breath, your mind. It's likely that at some moments you're going to experience the need to reattune, to recalibrate, to reconnect with your rhythm. Make that more important than how the physical body sort of excels or performs the asana. The tuning in, the calibrating and recalibrating. That's a life skill that we take with us off the yoga mat. You can take your flexibility with you too, but this is a deeper, more important skill. Your cow pose is going to become your seal pose. The chest and heart are already open, and then the hips come forward. Sometimes you'll finish your physical movement and the breath will still be going, or sometimes you'll finish the breath and the physical movement is still going. And those will be times where you got a little bit disconnected or the rhythm became more disjointed. And you simply recover on the next breath or the next movement. You don't linger in judgment, in other words. We'll meet back up in mountain pose and Anjali Mudra. Let's place a blanket on the mat so we can include Anjane Asana. Let's put the blanket across something like this. So it's not so high a hurdle to step over, but it gives enough padding. Okay, join your hands together at your heart. Listen to the Ujjayi sound. You have the capacity for this kind of practice. I wouldn't teach it if I didn't have confidence in you. When you exhale, consider again how you're moving, the rhythm, the tuning in and the retuning in. So this time when you step backwards, let that become the base for Anjane Asana. When you come into your cow pose, you're going to have your knees on the blanket. And that means that your seal pose might feel a little bit different to you. Continue listening for the pace that's your breath with your body. When we meet up in mountain pose and Anjali Mudra, then we'll pause right there. I'd like us to come down to plank pose. From where you are, please step back to plank pose. And then place your right knee on the blanket. Pivot your left heel to the floor. And let's see if we can line up the left heel, right toes, right shin, right knee. Press into your right arm and come into a variation on side plank pose. Okay, so in this variation, press firmly down into your right hand and your right arm, your right knee, right shin, left foot, left heel, lift the inner arch. And keeping the left foot stable, when you exhale, bring your right knee up and cross your right ankle over your left. If you have squishy blocks, you want to use the floor instead of the blocks. If you have a firm block, it's going to hold you. If you have squishy blocks, it's a good time to consider getting firm blocks. You bring the left hand down. Now keep the feet as they are and start rotating your chest towards the floor. So there's a twist happening in the spine here. Press firmly into your right hand and your left. And then roll your feet up so you're on the left toes. Place the right toes back in plank pose. Bring your left knee down to the blankets. Pivot your right heel. So it's right heel, left toes, left shin, left knee. And open to your right. And press firmly into your left arm and your right heel. And pick up your left knee. Cross your left ankle over your right. And keeping the legs as they are, bring your right hand down to its block. Notice the rotation in the spine. And then using your belly, rotate your right toes up, plank pose. Touch the knees down and reach back towards child's pose. Keep your hands on the blocks. And let's have the head kind of hovering between the upper arms here. And then walk your hands back towards your knees and rise up to kneeling. Interlace your fingers, roll your shoulders open, squeeze the shoulders back, and rise up. Exhale, fold forward and down. Raise your arms up behind you. Inhale, roll towards the crown of your skull. Exhale, roll down. The forehead may touch the floor or the blanket. Inhale, rise up to your kneeling back bend, hands clasped behind you. Exhale, forward and down. So you're squeezing the low belly. Think of this as both pranayama and physical asana practice. Let's inhale, roll to the crown of the skull. Exhale, roll down. You're squeezing the belly. Inhale, rise up, opening. And exhale one more time, folding forward. So squeezing the belly against the thighs. Complete the exhale. And then inhale, roll to the crown of your skull. And exhale, return. Rest your hands on the small of your back. And rise up to kneeling. Okay, so given the consideration for the first and second chakra in class, particularly the second, let's take the 2 blankets lengthwise. Place them down the center of your yoga mat. Sit in front of your blankets, not on them. Put the soles of the feet together, please. And rest back. Please elevate your head so that you can determine where to be on the blankets for your sacrum. When you first lie back, if you don't elevate the head, it might seem like that's a sharp drop off for the blankets on the sacrum. So come to rest now and see if you can just deeply appreciate the effort to be tuned in to the pace, even if you had to resynchronize over and over again, even if you met up with some of the shadow qualities of competition or impatience, or maybe you got frustrated or confused or you felt lethargic. Whatever it came, consider that like a house cleaning. You're discovering what is still in the closets that you want to work on. And please also know that whatever you experienced, you were not the only person. These are the seeds of the human mind. And they're quite likely representing some of the unmet needs that your body is still asking for healing about. So welcome yourself to deeply rest. It's very important that in recalibrating or retuning, there's a feeling of then integrating it by resting and letting it happen. It's a kind of surrender. Allow your mind to drop in like a stone going into a pond, deeper than the physical body, deeper than the prana body, deeper than the mind body, down deep into the wisdom body, down deeper yet into the experience of belonging, connection, this unconditional welcoming. Allow yourself to really rest in this recalibrating rhythm, much slower than perhaps your, of course, daily breath. Let the mind keep sinking in, like a stone returning to the bottom of the pond. Let yourself go deeper in the last part of this Shavasana, the stone deeper into the pond. And then please lightly deepen your breathing. Gently wiggle your fingers and your toes. And make a transition, please, to return to sitting. And bring attention down to the first chakra. Place the hands in the mudra for the first chakra. And make a little prayer. May we overcome the habits of dysregulating ourselves. The ways in which we dysregulate our rhythm. May we overcome those habits. We'll sing this once. Lum, 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 lum. Second chakra. May we overcome raga and dvesha, the craving and compulsion, the intolerance and resistance. Wam, 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 wam. Third chakra. May we overcome the habits of the asmita, the habit that comes from the feeling of separateness. So aggression, power, dominance, or withdrawal, deflation. Ram, 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 ram. Fourth chakra. May our hearts be free from attachment, enmeshment, envy, ill will, such things. Yum, 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 yum. Fifth chakra. May we neither use speech harshly nor swallow our words or mute our voices unnecessarily. Hum, 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 hum. Sixth chakra. The sound is Om. May we see clearly. And bring the hands to Anjali Mudra. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here. Namaste.